Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. For those of you that are new, I'm Jeanette from Boricua Sewing and Crafts, and in this video one of the things I want to do is I want to talk to you guys about Fast Frames and the Durkee frame. When I first bought my 6-needle embroidery machine, I actually purchased the Fast Frames, and when I went to buy my third embroidery machine, which was a 10-needle, what came with it was actually these Durkee frames, which is very similar to the Fast Frames. So there is a lot of questions about the differences of the two. Which one is better? Which do you recommend? I have to be honest with you. As I have been using them, I do not really find much of a difference except in the quality of it. Okay, so let me get down to it and let me show you exactly what I actually have found using both of these frames. Okay, now first off, I do want to say that both of them are great quality, so it doesn't matter to me. I find whether you use the Fast Frames or you use the Durkee frames, they work just as well. Okay, I am still using both of them. I have not favored one over the other, but I have noticed some differences while I am using them. First off, very obvious, is the knobs. Okay, this is the Fast Frame. Okay, and as you can see, it has one knob on here. When you use the Durkee frames, you have two. Okay, two knobs. I want to make sure that you see that in the video. You do. Okay, so what is the difference of these knobs? Okay, and why is it important? Well, first off, it's about how it holds the actual frame. Okay, now I'm not saying that this, because it has one knob, is not holding the frame sufficiently. Okay, but it does kind of jump up and down a bit. But a lot of times I find that when I am embroidering, it doesn't hamper the embroidery at all. Okay, it does hold the item very well. I use sticky stabilizer with these frames, and I use them with this as well, and it just works as well. Okay, so I have not seen the one knob to be a bad thing at all, but it's just something that if you're curious about, that's what it is. Okay, so I'm going to take one of the frames, and I'm actually going to I'll use the small one like I did here, and I just want to put in, and you're going to hear a lot of cluttering during this video because these things are all steel. Okay, so that's another thing I want to tell you guys. Whether you go with the Durkee or whether you go with the Fast, these are steel. Okay, the only thing that I do notice though about it is the Durkee is a little bit on the heavier side. The easy frames, the Fast Frames here are a little bit on the light side. Okay, they are thinner. Okay, and I have to be honest with you, I kind of like having it thinner. I like the lightweight of it. Some people don't, but I'm okay with it. This, on the other hand, as you can see, when you put it up against each other, there is a thickness to it. Okay, so I'm going to bring it up close to the camera so that you can kind of see. This is, I believe, almost 1/4 of an inch in thickness. Okay, this very, very thin. And I'm sorry, I have paper on it and stuff because I was embroidering earlier. But as you can see, between these two, okay, see how this is really thick, and then when you look at this one, very, very thin. So it's a preference, really. I don't find one to be better than the other. Some people may come out and say, well, maybe the easy frames, which is the Durkee frames, is a little bit better quality because it's thicker. Honestly, I have had these Fast Frames for a very long time. I have not had any of them bent on me or anything. They're just as good quality too. So, I just want to say, I kind of like them both. Okay, so I'm going to take these away for a moment, okay, so that we can look at how they both look when they're clamped. Okay, so as I had said earlier, and I'm going to take these away as well, so that way we have less clutter on the table while we look at it. As I said, these have two. So all it is you would turn these up Okay, the same with this. Okay, the only thing with this one is you don't have to take off the knob completely. This lifts, and it has the 2 holes right here. Okay, so just something to think about also. Okay, remember you have 2 clamps here. You only got 1 here. Well, knobs. Let's say knobs. These are knobs. You have 2 knobs, 2 knobs. But the thing is, even though this has 1 knob here, you have the 2 holes on the side, which is the same thing that you have here. Okay, so some people come out and say, well, the Durkee frame is more secure because it has the 2 knobs. But the thing is, if you really look at it, the easy frame kind of has the 3, okay? Because you have your knob in the center, and then you have these 2 holes right here. And when you go and you put these in, you put it underneath the knob, and you put it by the 2 holes. And I want to go ahead and give you a close-up so that you can actually see what it's like. So I'm going to bring you up a little closer just so that you can actually get a full feel of what it is, okay? So as I said before, you have these 2 holes right here. It's 2 little notches, you know, little I don't know what you call them, but they're little things that stick up here. Then you have your knob, okay? You just take this, you put it underneath the knob, and you secure it right in here, and then you just tighten it down. So the way I kind of see it is this is actually, to me, I look at it like it's secured really in 3 places, okay? The 2 knobs, and then you have this, all right? So now let's move over to the Durkee frame, okay? So I'm going to move this aside. And I just want to check the camera real quick to make sure that you are seeing exactly like the Durkee frame, okay? So these are the Durkee frames, and it has the 2 knobs, okay? So what you would do is you would turn these to the left to loosen, and you would take this, and very similar to what I did with the easy frame, you put them underneath the knobs. Okay, so you have to loosen them quite a bit to make sure that they fit. Because remember, this is on the thick side, okay? So I just go ahead, I put them in, and then once they're in, then I go ahead and I tighten them. And they're just as good, okay? So as you can see, it's really like 2, but I will say because this is thicker, it looks a little more sturdier, okay? And stuff. But I just want to emphasize again that they all work just as great, okay? They also, one of the things that I do notice that the Fast Frames do not have, okay, it just has, is if you look real close to these Fast Frames, you'll see like there's like a little notch here, okay? See a little triangle right there? It has it right there. Sorry guys, I'm just trying to get this new camera to focus and stuff. And it has it in the bottom as well. It does not have anything on the sides, okay? But if you look at your Durkee frame, okay, you have, I'm going to try to focus again. You have your notch. I know it's a little fuzzy, but trust me, you have a notch here. You have a notch at the bottom, and you also have them here and here. And that is actually really helpful to have, okay? Because if you are trying to center something with a template, you have your notches here, 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 and here. So that kind of helps. With the Fast Frame, you just have it on the top and the bottom. You don't have them on the sides like you do here. So that is one big difference that I do see with them, okay? Now, let's talk about the sizes, okay? Because actually these products are pretty similar in size. I just want to emphasize the differences that I have seen in both of them, okay? Now, this came with 8 different sizes, okay? So I'm going to take out all of the frames here. This knot came out, okay? So that you can see. And that is one thing that I noticed, and I don't know if it's because this is a new set. this can be a little bit hard to come in and out. Could be a good thing or a bad thing. I actually think it's a good thing because if it's really tight in here, that means I have a really good tight hold. So to me, I don't look at it as a negative, okay? To me, it's not a negative at all. It's pretty cool. So, all right. So, okay, I tied this down. Let's tie this down. All right, so I'm going to take this one out as well, because one of the things that I want to do is I want to compare the frames. Okay, let's look at the frames that we got here going on. Okay, so first the bracket. Brackets are pretty similar. Okay, just one is a little bit colorful than the other. All right, when it comes to the size of it, it looks the same. The only difference that I see, of course, what I mentioned before is one has a turning knob. It does have the two little areas where, and I don't even know what you would call these. These are like little studs that come up, but this to hold the frame. So I kind of like the idea that it's actually holding in 3 places. This holds it in 2. However, I do see a difference in the thickness of it. Could be a good or a bad thing. I don't have a problem with either one of them. I'm going to be honest with you. It's just the thickness of the actual item. As I look at this, and this is much thicker. But of course, because it's thicker, it's heavier. All right. This is lighter and it's thinner. Okay. So, but honestly, this, I've had it for years. I've been using it for years. I've used it for book bags, duffel bags. You know, I've done it to embroider like shirts and sweatshirts and all that kind of stuff. So, I mean, never had a problem with it. Very easy to put in the machine. Very easy to put in the machine. No issues, okay? Now, there is one thing, though, is you really have to learn about what is the top of this and what's the bottom. So, it needs to make sure that you have the edge that's popping up. And if you look on the side, you'll notice there's like a curve, right? And the curve is like coming up and then towards you. When it's coming up and towards you, that is the top. Very easy to confuse. So what I usually do is I just take a marker and I just put top on it. So that way I always know this is the top of the frame and it goes in like that. Okay. So I'm going to put the brackets away because, yeah, that's all I really have on these. The brackets are very similar. Both work great, both quality. Okay, so but let's talk about the frames. All right, I'm going to bring the frames back out so that we can talk about them. And let's do a comparison, okay? So one of the things that I will say that I do like about the Fast Frames is that because the Fast Frames are thinner, okay, they're lighter to carry around, okay? Man, I should have cleaned this before I did my video, but that's okay. You know, you guys are just interested in the 411. So, and as you can see with the Fast Frames, I do tend to grab these first. And they're very much lighter. And because they are thinner, as you can see, I have all of them here. They don't take up too much space. So if space is a big thing, you know, then maybe you would like the Fast Frames because they are thinner, okay? However, the Durkee frames, every single one of them has a little thickness to them. Because they're a little thickness to them, we're not really talking about a lot of space, really, you know, but you can tell that it is a little bit more. But if that's not a factor, it's really not a big deal. I mean, it's just the thickness of the material that they use, okay? So, as I had stated before, one of the things that I really do like about the Durkee frames is that the Durkee frames has the notches on the side as well as the bottom and the top. When I look at my Fast Frames, okay, not, you know, they all do. Yeah, they do. They have the top and the bottom, but they don't have the sides. Okay, I got Mellows yelling at somebody. I'll be right back. Okay, guys, so now I have Mellow all quiet down. He's going to stop yelling at the landscaper, and we're going to get right back to the frames. Okay, so like I was saying, one of the things that I do like about the Durkee is that they have that little notch on the side as well as the top and the bottom. That really helps if you need to center something, okay? However, though, I do have, excuse me, I'm out of breath because I was chasing Mellow. I do have a feature called the snowman, and the snowman actually helps to center it. So I really don't use these little notches that much. However, though, if you have like a 6-needle machine or a machine that doesn't have that scanning capability, this is going to help you a lot, okay? So that might be a decision factor for you, these little notches, you know. Now, the thing is, too, is that the easy frames, all of them have the notches on the top and the bottom, okay? I know it's hard for you to see because you can actually see I've used every single one of these you know, frames. So they have them on the top and the bottom, okay? So you can always use this to line up, okay? So, you know, and usually if you print out your template, you always end up with a cross, so you can kind of, you know, figure it out as to where the center part is. So let's look at the sizes, though, that we have here, okay? I'm going to try to put these in order so that we can kind of see where we're at. Well, first of all, let's do a comparison of each of the sizes, okay? So here we have the round one. Okay, as you can see, when I look at it, to me, when I line this up, the inside of it, I kind of can see right away by lining this up from the top that the easy frame has a little bit more space at the bottom, okay? But it's really not a big deal to me, okay? So this is a pretty good match, okay? This is a frame that a lot of people use to embroider the back of the baseball hat. So this is pretty neat. This, in the Durkee frame, I noticed that it only has a notch right here at the bottom. That's all it has. Everything else around here is smooth. When you look at the one with the fast frame, I do notice it has a notch, 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 a notch. So 3 here, 3 here, 3 here. So there's 9 different notches on this hat hoop. Well, I call it a hat hoop, but it's just a circular one. But, you know, if the notches, you know, just know that in this format, you have notches. In here, you only have 1. They're practically almost the same size. Not a big deal here. Okay, so I'm going to put this one aside. Now let's look at this big one. Okay, let's get rid of the big ones first. So I have this one. This is an 8x8. The next big one on the easy frames is this one. This is not an 8x8. I believe this is a 6x6. As you can see, it is different. Okay, and I want to make sure that that is it that I have. Hold on, I'm going to look real quick on my hooping stations. And yeah, that is it. Yep, I didn't leave any behind. Okay, so this has an 8x8. I don't have an 8x8. This came up with a 6x6, okay? So, right here to me, Durkee frame's a little bit bigger, okay? The next size up, though, from the Durkee frame is a 7x5, which I believe matches kind of similar to this one. Okay, again, I think the Durkee frame, you can see that it is a little bit bigger, right? Because I'm holding it on the side. So you can see you have a little bit more space there. Okay, so, you know, the Durkee frames do seem to have bigger sizes now that I'm looking at it and stuff, you know, side by side in the frame. So I'm going to put these two aside here, okay? So, let's see, the next side up, I have another one that's like this. And this is a 5x4. Okay. This, I believe, is smaller as well. So as you can see, I'm holding it on the side. And as you can see, I have more space. Okay. See, there's more space there. So this is also different as well. So, you know, it's like, I feel like the frames in the Durkee side now are a lot bigger and stuff. Now, here are the 3 ones that I use. And I'm going to put these on the side. It looks to me like this is the thin one. This is the matching for this. And as you can see, the size is a lot different as well. Okay, it looks like the Durkee frame again is a little bit bigger. I would say this matches more with this side and this matches more with this side. So as you can see, when I'm looking at all of them, to me, you know, it's like the Durkee frames give you more space, more embroidery space than the Fast Frames. Okay, it's just 1/4 of an inch, not much, but some and stuff. And this is the thin one, same thing. This is the 2x4, and I guess this is smaller than a 2x4 for sure, you know. But again, see, it's always a little off. Okay, this one's off too by, you know, like 1/4 of an inch and stuff. And same thing here. So yeah, so this is my take on all of this. Okay, I don't think honestly that you can go wrong with either set. Okay, each of them have great sizes. Now the only thing, like I said, is it looks to me like you get a little more embroidery space if you use the Durkee frame than the Fast Frame. But honestly, I've been using most of the Fast Frames. They work great. I just, you know, as long as I take my design, my template, and I put it in to make sure it fits within the area, I'm golden and I'm good to go. So I don't think that you're going to have an issue with whichever set you choose to buy. Whether it's, whether you're deciding to go Durkee or Fast Frame. My opinion, they're both worth the money. You know, I just happen to have gotten the Durkee frames because the Durkee frames came free with the purchase of my 3rd machine. So I was like, oh, okay, you know, and I used my Fast Frames and I love them. So, you know, I just wanted to do a comparison of both sets because I know there's a lot of folks out there that have questions about it. They don't know what to get. But I just want to tell you, you can't go wrong with whichever set you get. I think they both are great. They both do the job, and they're both of, you know, great quality. So, you know, if you're out there in the market to see if you want a Durkee frame or a Fast Frame, I hope this video helps you in deciding which one is best for you. And yeah, so that's all I have for my comparison of these two sets. So guys, if you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. And if you are new to my channel, please consider subscribing. And I will see you guys on Friday for Embroidery Happy Hour at 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Have a great day and happy sewing and happy embroidering. Bye.